Good day, ladies and gentlemen. This is NSFUSA TV. On this episode, we have the emeritus Zico. Without him, this gathering wouldn't be possible. The sacrifice, the time, the energy he put in, and we're coming to Maryland this year. We wanted to bring in, we've had a neutral analysts, neutral scouts go in to all the cities. And now we want to hear from the emeritus himself with all the history that he has on the team's coming, not just the team's participation, and his thought on the process of qualification and where he sees the organization. First of all, this video is brought to you by TapTapSend, the most reliable, the most secure, and the best platform to send money to Nigeria and Africa for your friends, your families, and loved ones. So, without getting started, let's get Coach Zico Emeritus. You're welcome to this podcast.
Yes, Mr. Kemwell, Nimi, thank you so much for inviting me to this episode. It's honorable. I really appreciate it. And I want to say again, welcome to Maryland 2024. Let me first appreciate you guys at the executive level of NSFUSA. You guys have done a very, very good, fantastic job. When we left it, it wasn't as if the level, and it is highly appreciated, and everybody is looking forward to see the greater height that NSFUSA can go. So, talked about the tournament in Maryland, coming to RFK. It wasn't very easy for us. It took a long time than necessary to actually locate the choice locations, but location, they will not match the last 2-3 years certification of where we like NSFUSA tournament to be held. So we put our feet down, and we would like and thank the Executive Council for working with us throughout the process, and we're able to make it happen at RFK Stadium. So again, for you guys working with us, we don't expect that, but we really, really thank you. From the bottom of our heart, from LOC in Maryland, we're working hard, and we say you two are working hard via the hotel, via the games, scouting, via the teams, updates. Really thank you. Now to the teams coming from out of state. Will be the over 40. Over 40 is taking it to the next level. For the first time, we're having more than 10 teams coming all over 15 states to represent. And I believe in the upper coming years, we'll be seeing more than 20 teams. So we really, really appreciate that. And we thank all the teams that are coming from West Coast, East Coast, Mid-Atlantic, and Central. So we wish every one of them safe journey back here. And by the grace of God, it's going to be a happy ending. Now, talk about the Open. I saw your scouting report, and I'm yet to know how you guys were able to get to that scouting report. Well, in the past, your scouters have been 70-80% correct, but I will tell you as an insider, you're going to be shocked.
Boy, we'll be shocked. That will be a surprise because, as I said, our neutral scouts are everywhere. We've sent them all around, and as you alluded, they were 80% right the last competition. So we got to, go with that scouting report. So without further ado, that's why you're here. We're going to break down the groups now. I'm about to take us to. Are you ready for me to take you there?
Take me there. Let's go. Let's go there.
Okay, let's go there. In the words of nice, let's go there. Real quick. I think, let me see. Real quick. Just 1 second. I'm about to share the concept of my screen, and so you could, see it from your lenses too. So, can you see the screen?
Yes, I can. Very clear.
What you're saying the groups, right?
Yes, I can see the group.
Okay, fine. This is Group A. So you have Collins Stars, two-time defending champions, Team Cheverly United, Houston Green Eagles, African United Miami. Just as we had our chief scouting officer, Charles Yamu, go through his postulation of the group. Let's go. Let's start with African United Miami. What are you thinking, Coach?
Well, looking at the past matches in the last 4 years, we have seen Collins Stars play some stunts. If they still have the depth of the team they brought in the last 2 years, I see them having at least 6 points in that group. It's not going to be easy for them to play with Houston Green Eagles. I believe that the last year when they came, Houston Green Eagles was not in that tournament. And I can see almost 5 to 6 players from Houston Green Eagles in the previous tournament. So I'm trusting that now that Houston Green Eagles is coming this year, it may be very, very tough for Collins Stars to bring back those players. And looking at what Houston Green Eagles have done in the last 10 years in this tournament, it's a team of a very, very strong side. They will be emulating the top 3 teams in the national tournament of our federation. So quickly, I believe Collins will top that group like with points. And the tiebreaker there is going to be African United Miami. Talking about Cheverly. Cheverly is an home team. Don't be deceived with the results you are getting from NSL. In NSL, teams are very, very competitive. Most of Cheverly players are students. They may not turn up to game during the time they were supposed to play. These are young lads. But remember, again, this is tournament. All those guys going to show up. They want to play. For any team to beat Cheverly, they have to bring their A game. This is not a joke. It's a team that Bender will not even beat easily. And it's a team that my team will not beat easily. So topping a league in a state and being at the bottom of the table in a state does not connote that the team is a weak team. Vis-a-vis, they're going to recruit as well. Don't forget, in league, you register your player from January or February. You cannot add any other player again. This is tournament. They can bring in Messi from Argentina. They can bring in Beckham from England. And they can bring Zico from Brazil to come and play for them. So, guys, this is tournament. That Group A, all I will say is this. I will tip Collins Stars and Houston Eagles to qualify on that group based on 6 points plus goals aggregate. That's my report on Group A.
Sorry. So Group A, you're saying Collins Stars 6 points, Houston Green Eagles 6 points, Cheverly 6 points. Is that what you're saying?
Cheverly 3 points.
Cheverly 3 points. What about Africa United? How many points? 0?
Well, I'm going to say 0 for African United because in the last 3 years, I've not seen them in the tournament, and I've not been able to call anybody to know how they are doing or what league are they playing. Bidin of Miami is very close to me. Sheyi, one of the owners of the team, we're talking, but I believe they too are talking about bringing their A game and beefing up that team. But the reason why I gave 3 points to Cheverly is because Cheverly will not even come home easily. So most likely, they might have a draw with Houston Green Eagles. They might likely have draw. But I don't want to stretch it. I don't want to disrespect Houston Green Eagles. But I know, as far as I'm concerned, based on the knowledge of the game, Cheverly is new. Miami African United will also be recruiting new people. But Houston Green Eagles have experience in this game, and they will likely have 6 points, I'm sure. whereas African United may not even get a 3-point off of Chevrolet.
Good analysis, Coach Emeritus. I think we all landed on the same thing. We may have taken different paths, but we landed at the same thing. It's going to be Houston and Colin coming out from this group. Can we shake to that? Can we toast? Can we make a toast to that? Let's go to Group B. We are all saying the same thing. So, guys, the oracle has spoken. And once the oracle speaks, we have gone to go libate, we've poured libation, and we've brought out the oracle, and he has said it. So let's go to Group B. Are you ready for me to take you there?
Let's go there quickly.
Okay, let's go there quickly for Group B. So Group B, we want you to bring your neutral eyes to this. Take off the tinted Maryland glasses, and let's look at this group well. So, sorry, can you see my screen? What group is showing there? Is it Group A still?
Group A is still showing still.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me take off Group A and let's put on Group B. Just 1 second. So Group B, we could start the conversation. Group B, we have BAFC. On that group, we have Maryland 1, we have Colin FC, and we have New York FC. What what Oracle, what are you seeing in this group? What are you seeing?
I see a lot here. I read and I had the last scouting report that was given to Group B. As far as I'm concerned, the group of death is this group you are talking about. It was so unfortunate that all those teams were paired in that group. In this group, most of the team may likely have the same point, and they will only edge themselves out by goals aggregate. Put my word down. This is a group of death. Group B may likely have either 4-4-4, and the winners will be winning by goal aggregate. I'm going to start by New York. New York, looking at what they have done in the last 3 years, I don't see New York repeating what they did last year in either Chicago, which they were absent, or in Austin.
They finished second in Austin. They finished second in Austin.
Yes. Remember, New York beat my team in Austin.
Yeah, in the semifinals.
In semifinal, that game can go either way. That game can go either way. Certain things I don't want to say as a leader of this organization. When it comes to officiating, we have taken it to the next level. And I believe even in FIFA World Cup and in some like game, referees sometimes do things that it is their call. That is why we call them official, and we have to respect. So we all just have to play our game. And I believe we will mature through errors and progress as we go by. But in the last 2 years, NSFUSA have taken the level of employing MLS referee, and at least we are at 95% and higher when it comes to officiating. So New York may not likely even win Maryland.
Did you see the did you see the poll? Did you see the polls? Did you see the polls on the group? Many people voted for New York to beat Maryland 1 easily. I don't know if you saw the polls.
Well, I look at the post. People are voting out of the performance New York had 2 years ago. Don't forget, New York just coming back after 1 year. Guess what? They are coming very, very close. The most difficult is when you are not going by flight, you are traveling by road. It's going to shock you because you'll be having a lot of disappointment. Even home base will also have the same disappointment. But looking at the technical capacity of Maryland team compared to New York, it's not going to be like a drive-through. It's going to be tough. The game may end at draw. So I'm going to go next to BAAFC. Bay Area, Ogbe, my guy, no vessel. We have played with this team in the last 6 years 4 times, and they have not beaten Maryland in any of those years. They are very, very good competitor. They give Maryland a tough time. They have good squad, but I just and pressure was their back and concede goal. And once they concede goal, that's where the issue is. So categorically, Maryland has beaten Bay Area in this tournament back to back 4 times in a row. So now they're not going to come to Maryland in their neck of wood and think they're going to gain any point out of that side. It's not going to work. They might do it with Colin, maybe, but I can bet you not with Maryland. So I'm going to push to Colin. No disrespect. Colin had taken the cup the first year they came in or the second year they came in before Colin Stars emerged. I believe Colin would do a lot of good job now. They are a travel team. They come correct when they travel. They seem more focused. And now that HDE is coming, that may also affect them as well. I don't know what that boy is doing, right? But I pray that in Maryland, they were able to secure the same numbers of players they had when they were in Chicago. So it's going to be a very good thing. Now, let's talk about Maryland as the hosting city. I don't want to scare nobody. I heard your scout talking about, well, their home team, combination of 3 teams coming together as one. They will be confused. Technically, maybe the coach will make a mistake. Far from it. Very, very far from it.
Guys, maybe just to cut you short. Sorry to cut you short. In Chicago, the reason maybe the scouts are saying so, in Chicago, we saw a Maryland team that were beating black and blue by Austin Eagles. Maryland team that was struggling with Atlanta, like, you know.
Let me
so are you going to blame the scouts?
Let me tell you this. That is why my response goes thus. I said, what were the parameters used in making that judgment? And you've been following this tournament for over 10 years. I'll quickly remind you of something. Maryland got the hosting last year, was given to New York because of some relationship. We were contacted to host this tournament. We said no. Now we're ready for a year to host that tournament. And me being an officer of record with NSFUSA, I know if Maryland did not come to that tournament, you can never host that tournament. So we quickly put in some boys. Those guys you see that play that tournament, none of them ever play for either Super Green or Delta Eagles or Stars. You can mark my word. You have your video. All the players you see that came from Maryland in Chicago, no single person out of that 12 players had ever played with Super Green or other teams. So I want your scouts to get that straight. Austin will never beat Maryland. They will never even beat Stars, Super Green, or Bendel. They gave us 3-0. We only had 9 players. They drove from Maryland. We had never driven in our life. We always fly in 15 years. So there's a lot of things that affected those players. And you can see the second day, we had 4 more players. And that is why we were able to beat Atlanta. If you look at that game in Chicago, it doesn't make sense. Why will Austin beat Maryland 3-0? And the same Maryland is beating Atlanta 2-0 at the last game. So that should tell you a traction.
And the Atlanta now beat Austin 5-0.
Exactly. So, look, let me go back to where I'm coming from. Maryland 2024 teams will look like the surprise Houston gave when they were in Houston. We all saw it. They were playing lazily in the first 2 games, but when they got to semifinal, you were seeing players flying in from Mexico, from Afghanistan, from everywhere with their bullets. So trust me, it's going to be a firecracker. But what I love in all the groups is that there is no play. For you to get to Final Four this time, you have to guard your loin strongly and you have to carry your bullet. No fake bullet. So qualification opinion. I believe in that group. Maryland won. We top that group. And Houston Green Eagles.
No. On this group. Colin.
Maryland won. We top that group. Colin Dakpo, who came second in that group.
Wow. And you put New York outside?
Forget about New York.
Huh?
I'm very sorry. Kunle, no verse for me. And my guy, Scongy Andrew, you know, so you're my guy now. But I'll say the truth. In the last 5 years, 6 years, New York will not come to Maryland and ride us over. Thank God to the game in Austin, they beat us. Correct. You know? So we don't shine our eye now. So it's not going to happen in our hood. It won't happen.
So first Maryland, second Colin. That's where the expert scouts are going on a different path with the Oracle himself. So let's go to Group C. At the end of this tournament, we'll bring back the Oracle himself, the Emeritus, and we'll go back on this video and we'll go back and we'll look and say, what is your scouting? If Emeritus scouts beat the professional scouts, then we have to look into the contract and see what's going on. So let's go to Group C. Let's go to Group C right now. This is the group I feel. This is the group of death. So let's go to Group C. I don't know if you can see my screen. Is my screen showing good with the group?
Yes, I can see Group C. Indigo,
we got Storm, we got Invisible, and we have Chicago. Let's start with Indigo. What are you thinking?
I just freeze because you see this group you call Group of Death. Invisible Eagles. I'm going to start with Invisible Eagles. I saw your games both in Austin and in Chicago. As far as Invisible is concerned, looking at Gazelle Chicago, with what they played last year in their home base, Chicago is always very, very tough when they are going out. For 3 times Chicago have hosted this tournament, they never did well in their home. So why is that? I don't know. But when they come to places that is outside of their domain, they do well. I'm going to say that Invisible will struggle in this group, being the fact that I'm not going to take them ahead of Chicago Gazelle, and neither will I take them ahead of Storm. And let me keep telling you this. Any home-based team in Maryland, you'll be shocked. It won't be like bread and butter. When you win any Maryland team, that team actually ends it. Not like 2-0 in first half or 3-0 in the game. It will be neck to neck. It will be firecracker. That's what I call it. So Invisible in this group may find it very, very difficult. Chicago Gazelle may have their way against Indigo. They are very close. If they play very close to each other, I'm not sure. But as far as the game is concerned, in this group, Storm may likely lead this group. Storm will have their ride against Indigo, having 3 points, and they will also have a ride against Invisible Eagles. That is 6 points. Having a 6 point in this group, they already qualify. So whatever will determine the first or second will be the game between Indigo and Chicago. And I'm tipping Chicago to win Indigo. So most likely Storm and Chicago is going to emerge in that group. Again, based on 4 pointers with goals aggregate.
I think the scouts, the deep scouts will disagree with you on this group, especially with your storm analysis. We have watched Storm. We don't see anything spectacular about Storm. I don't know if they've gotten a striker yet, but we will have to see in 14 days. In 14 days, we'll have to see if Jimmy and Dupo are coming. So with your the Oracle, what you're saying?
Let me, PRO.
Yeah.
I want you to stand corrected. Your scouts are doing a very good job, and you like to do something I call putting the right peg in the right hole. Apple for apple, pie for pie. What did I say? When you are playing league games, you have your player registered and you are logged in. Even if you get 10 good players, 4 months after, you cannot use them. A tournament that is planned for almost 3, 4, 5 months, the players that are playing for Storm are not the same player coming for this tournament, maybe half of them, or even less than half. I'm giving you tip. Your Storm that you're talking about is my Storm, and my Storm is where I stay. So your Storm is what you are using speculation of reports. All the players that will be playing for Storm, I know 4 of them. I can't even get them in my own team. These are good players. When I say good players, fantastic players. I'm very sorry, Dipo and Jimmy. I'm not trying to blow the trumpet, but I just want National to know that 2024 Maryland is going to be a firecracker. It won't be bread and butter, and it will not be like a 495 or Expressway 78. So I rest my case.
So, Oracle, you're saying Storm Chicago coming out from this group?
There's going to be 4-4-4. 4-4-4 points by 3 teams. The leader of that, the same thing that's going to happen in Group A. There won't be any 6 points in this group. I can assure you of that.
Well, again, we would have to come back by October 20th. We'll come back in a month time, and we'll come back and we'll put you on the. We'll bring yours. You will sit on one side. Our scout will sit on one side. Our official scout, and we go through notes. So you're saying Storm, Chicago. Well, we'll have to see, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have to see. I seriously doubt that, but we'll have to, we'll have to see, what's happening, and we'll have to come back to this group. So the last, but the last.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry to interrupt you. Just 1 minute.
Yeah.
Texas Challenge in the last 3 years. How many times have Colin won it?
Colin has never won our Texas Challenge.
Okay, hold on right there. If I'm one of the analysts and I'm using that pedigree to judge them, then I'm making a mistake. Remember the same Colin that came to Houston. They never made it to quarterfinal. I was looking at their game like this. Their goalkeeper, Ugo, is my guy. He used to play on my team. Rashid, I know him very, very well. I look at the game. But the following year, they came and they conquered. So now your scout needs to use some parameters that are very, very critical to the present time. Not to look at certain things and just make judgment. I am telling you, Storm FC is not just coming like the Storm you know. If Storm FC now plays Storm FC that we beat 2-0 in Austin, they're gonna whoop our ass. So prepare for Storm in that group. Chicago, Indigo, prepare. Invisible. Anyway, Nimi, you have a very good team, but you safe. How you want to support you?
Viewer,
Mr. Neutrality.
I'm a neutral pundit. When he says that, he's just talking. Again, as I told Charlie, it's a metamorphic statement. So let's go to Group D. We have Dallas Golden Eagles, Maryland 2, Boston Eagles, and Los Angeles Eagles. What is your thought on this group quickly?
Well, again, I like to go from the bottom up. LA Eagles is a very good team. They always come strong every year. But again, similar to BAFC, for one reason or the other, I don't know. I'm going to advise them, if they must qualify out of this group, they must win their first game on Friday. If they lose on Friday, it will be tough for them to qualify out of this group. So I respect LA Eagles for the far travel. I don't know what their camp is made up of, but looking at the last 2 years, I know they were always unlucky at the last game. So their last game is always a problem. And if they would have won their first game, that may not even matter anymore. So if I were the coaches and technical crew, I would pay attention in their first game to make sure that at least it's a draw, that is a tie. So that is for LA. Now coming to Boston Eagles, tough area to go. My legend, my referee in USC back in the days, Coach Ashley, no disrespect. Coach Ashley comes to this tournament every year with the aim of winning and qualifying. They start very, very good. I watch their game. He's a very passionate person that has strong faith in his team. But one thing that he needs to work on is the players' ability to be able to finish, to pass the finishing line. Their first game in the morning is always good. Second game, but when it's getting to the third game, the team break up. If you go and look at Boston every year, they have played against my team 2 times. They've won Chicago. I mean, they did well in some of the tournament, but they may not qualify because of the last game. The strength, the tolerance, the rigidity, and coming together as a team that has the mind to win. That is the issue of Boston Eagles. They have that player, but they must come correct, like I use the word business. When those players come with the mind of business, they will go far. Maryland 1, Maryland 2. Well, I'm not sentimental. In this group, I'm tipping Maryland 2 to have 6 points easily. On whose 6 points is going to dwell, I don't know. Respectfully, Maryland 1 will have 6 points, and I can bet my car that I'm driving, my hoopty, that in this group, they will come out with easy 6 points. And I'm going to tip Dallas Golden Eagles based on the last 2 performances. We played Dallas Golden Eagles in Austin. I can't believe my eyes. I was thinking it's the same Dallas Golden we normally give Koboko. They came and I shook Solomon's hand. I'm like, you know one thing? This is a team that will go to the Final Four. And I believe, I think they did, if not because of penalty kicks in Austin. So they played very, very well. We had draw on them, 0-0. And looking at last year, oh my God. God bless you, Solomon and the other guys. They put up a very strong team that I would never, ever thought that DGE would ever produce. So based on the last 2 years, which I believe Solomon, now they always bet with me. You know, they let me rest for inside the elevator. That's why he will always be smiling, calm face. I know it's coming strong. It's coming strong. And why I'm tipping them is because they were supposed to host this tournament, if not for some tete a tete and in-house. So I give it up to Solomon for yielding to Maryland. And I know for them to host, they will have started planning heavily. So good luck to Dallas Golden Eagles and good luck to Maryland too. Those are the 2 teams in that group that will have easy 6 points.
Well, viewers, you've heard the Emeritus give his own breakdown. I promise you all, In October, we'll be bringing down the Emeritus and we'll be bringing down our scouts, and we'll be going over notes, comparing notes, and seeing, what's going on. So you have seen the group from Group A, Emeritus picked Colin Stars, Houston Green Eagles. For Group B, he has picked Maryland One and Colin, and taking off a New York team. That is, we'll have to see. Group C, he has picked not fancied Storm FC team and Chicago Gazelle. And in Group D, he has picked Maryland 2 and Dallas Golden Eagles. One thing I could say is from all the groups that we've done, he's right with our scouts on Group A, the D4 on Group B. On Group C, he's right with Charlie. And on Group D, he's right with Charlie. So we'll have to see other scouts do. But let's see how it goes. We say thank you again for joining us, Emeritus. Thank you. We can't wait for Maryland. We'll be there to see you, and we'll go over this, and we're going to have a great, great tournament. NSF USA is coming home. Again, this video was brought to you by Tap Tap Send. Thank you, Emeritus. Thank you for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Nimi. You're a very, very wonderful guy. Your escort are doing a very wonderful job. We bid farewell coming down from everywhere to Maryland. We say bon voyage. And when you come, you still have your drink on me.
No problem.
So I'm going to shower you.
No
Thank you
problem.
again.
No problem.
NSF
Thank you, Zico. We'll see. Okay, bye-bye.